San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans is a popular head coach candidate this cycle, but where should he end up? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And shout out to our guy right here for a dope comment on a recent video. But Matt, man, I'll toss it up to you, man. Where should DeMeco Ryans end up? Who should he be the head coach of next season?
I think he should end up where he played during his career, and that's with the Houston Texans.
Interesting.
I mean, the Texans have been abysmal for a while now.
Very much sorry.
I mean, it's basically been, Bill O'Brien destroyed the team by trading away talent for next to, pennies on the dollar. And then the whole Deshaun Watson thing. They've basically been going through, 1 year expendable coaches, unfortunately for Lovie Smith. Huge fan. I know we're both huge fans of him. He didn't deserve that, but that's basically what he was. And so now they're looking for that next guy that can actually build them into the future.
Yeah.
I think Ryans is perfect. I mean, you look at the culture that San Francisco has, that's something that you want to bring in. That's something that you can absolutely try and recreate in Houston. And then if it's anything like the guy that recently was a defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, and headed over to be a head coach. I mean, Saleh has done an amazing job with the New York Jets. He's built up that defense. Yeah. I would not be surprised if Ryans gets hired by the Texans, if that's the Houston Texans within 2 or 3 years, if they allow DeMeco to do what he's supposed to do.
That makes a lot of sense. I love DeMeco Ryans as a candidate. I do believe, actually, he's probably my favorite candidate in this head coaching cycle.
He's up there, absolutely, now with Harbaugh gone, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, he's my favorite head coaching candidate. I talked last week on a video, or maybe the week before, that the Indianapolis Colts is my favorite destination for a new potential head coach. I would pair those two together. I think DeMeco Ryans should be the Indianapolis Colts next head coach. And as you mentioned, man, DeMeco Ryans has done a hell of a job with the San Francisco 49ers defense, since Robert Saleh exited San Francisco for the New York Jets. And I would expect DeMeco Ryans to kind of instill that same kind of defensive identity in Indianapolis on the roster that already has a bunch of defensive talent, obviously led by Shaq Leonard, Kenny Moore in the secondary, Stephon Gilmore at corner, DeForest Buckner up front, one of the best interior defensive linemen. So he's going to be set up with personnel defensively to, make a real impact on the team. And obviously, on the offensive side of the ball, you got Jonathan Taylor, who brings a running game, one of the best
I mean, that's
in
something
the NFL.
He's familiar with.
And that's something you should want to build your team around, especially with DeMeco Ryans' defense and running the football. Obviously, they have to figure out the quarterback, but with the top 5 pick and the ability most likely to even move up further into the top, 2 or 3 slots, I think the quarterback situation will kind of figure itself out, assuming you get a C.J. Stroud or a Bryce Young. And I think that sets up well for DeMeco Ryans taking this Indianapolis Colts franchise to where it hasn't been in a long time.
Well, we'll see, because I think the issue and the point you brought up with the quarterback, Houston is one thing because they've been kind of at the bottom of the barrel, even when they had a quarterback in Deshaun Watson, then he left. So I think they'd be more willing to work with DeMeco to build up the defense and the rest of the team as they continue to look. And they also, they're probably going to get Bryce Young. So they might not even be really that worried overall.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to be focused on trying to bring in an offensive coordinator or a quarterback coach that can really work with Young. So it doesn't, I think, affect the head coaching hire as much. Indianapolis has been trying for the last, 4 years now? They've had these, stopgap measures, these Band-Aid quarterbacks that come in, should on paper be able to do enough with the roster that's in Indianapolis to go to the playoffs, make some noise. I think there's going to be a lot more pressure to get a quarterback, almost quote-unquote guru, as a head coach, because there's been so much more emphasis.
That's what Frank Reich was. Frank Reich was the quarterback whisperer. He was supposed to be the guy that can help unlock what Carson Wentz showed flashes of in Philadelphia.
I understand that, but that was after they already had gone and gotten Frank Reich. Frank Reich didn't come in with a new quarterback. This time, you're going to have the new quarterback coming in with a head coach, and I think they're going to, even though it didn't work in Arizona, I think you could see something similar to that, where because they're going to be getting their quote-unquote franchise quarterback in the draft, they might be trying more actively to pair a head coach with that quarterback.
Interesting. That just doesn't really, I don't think that would be a smart way of
I'm not saying it's a smart way, but I see, the NFL does that stuff sometimes.
But again, it doesn't, that point doesn't really make sense, because why wouldn't the Texans do that? Because obviously you mentioned they're going to get a quarterback as well. I think the Colts just kind of went the offensive side with their head coach and Frank
Mm-hmm.
Reich, and I think they're going to turn the page and go to the other side. Get a defensive, somebody who can really build a defensive identity, be an adult in the room. Not that Frank Reich wasn't, but just kind of bring a different type of attitude and swagger to this team. And obviously Frank Reich is a lot different than DeMeco Ryans in terms of a coaching style. I think DeMeco Ryans is what the Colts need. The Texans definitely need something similar.
I think
Also,
DeMeco Ryan is what the Texans need.
you got to keep in mind, that might be true, but DeMeco Ryans might not want to go back to the franchise that he played with, became a really good player with, considering he did sue the Houston Texans
he sued them
for
but
about $10 million
if anything,
for shortening his
Now-
playing career due to a terrible playing surface.
gives
at
him
NRG
a better
Stadium.
chance to get a bigger bag as
Yeah.
a head coach.
Yeah.
And again, I think that kind of shows into like the issue in Houston. This has been just an awful franchise with a few good moments.
So why would DeMeco Ryans want to join
So
that?
he
He
can
knows just as
rebuild
good
it,
as anybody.
because he can recreate it. He knows what's wrong, so now he can fix it.
I don't know if he knows what's wrong, and I don't
I
know.
think he knows.
I don't know
He
if
sued him.
wants-
He knows what's wrong. He knows what's wrong. He can fix it.
But let us know in the comments where DeMeco Ryans should end up, who he should be the head coach of next. Make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, did Team Scott with the Indianapolis Colts win, or is it Team
Come on.
Matt with them Texans?
I drew a picture for you guys. Pick me. Let's go.
Let us know. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out our other videos, and don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below while you're at it. Also, for more great and original content, head right over to bbmsports.com.